How are we using what has been entrusted to each of us? Today, Jesus tells the parable of the talents. 2 of the servants used them to make more. As you know, the third buries his in the ground. Are we using our talents as well as we could? As we celebrate the Eucharist today, I'd like us all to consider how we use our God-given talents and how we could use them much better. In the reading from Proverbs, a man finds a trustworthy and praiseworthy partner, one whose value is beyond pearls. In the Gospel, another finds trustworthy and praiseworthy servants, ones worthy of handling all his possessions. We would do well to look at that inside ourselves. Does our spouse or family members consider us trustworthy and praiseworthy? How about your employer? How about God? I think we all need to consider how we can become more trustworthy and praiseworthy in the eyes of those whose perspective we value. Today's parable of the talent follows the one we heard last weekend, the 10 virgins in the wedding party. The 2 parables have a similar point, our partnership with God and how he surprises us by arriving at an unexpected moment. For me, this parable brings me back to my first few years in the U.S. Army. Most, if not all, of my roommates had gone on vacation while I was on another mission. I don't believe they gave me the exact date that they were going to return. I had a general time frame, but no specific dates. So I have to admit, for the first couple weeks, I just simply sloughed off. The room that we lived in got messier and messier. The refrigerator food had started looking like a general science experiment in mold. Then it struck me. So my roommates might be back on Monday. Since this was Saturday, I started cleaning and putting things in order. In our parable today, we see God as like my roommates who arrive at an unexpected moment. As St. Paul says, Jesus will come like a thief in the night. Today, I want to emphasize not so much about the suddenness of God's arrival, but our partnership with him. You know, I was concerned about my friends coming back because we too had a partnership to take care of each other, our section, our team, and our company. Granted, they were all senior partners and I was junior, but still, while they were out on vacation, I had some big responsibilities, not only for the barracks room that we lived in, but much more important, the care of our section, our team, and our company equipment. I think the parable of the talent dramatizes the partnership with God by the fact that the master entrusts talents to his servants. Do you know a talent is actually a cast of precious metal, gold or silver, about the size of a garbage can lid. It weighs about 70 to 100 pounds. Not exactly pocket change, is it? By entrusting so much to us, God makes us partners in a major enterprise. You know, Pope Francis observed the book of Genesis tells us that God created man and woman, entrusting them with the task of filling the earth and subduing it, which does not mean exploiting it, but nurturing and protecting it, caring for it through their work. So God gives the earth to all of us. We become partners with him in caring for our common home. God not only entrusts us with a common home, he gives each of us individual gifts. We each have a lifespan and a certain measure of health. And even though we are hardly the richest people in the Lakes country, God has entrusted us a resource that people in other parts of the world would envy. We want to use those gifts as partners with God. To return to my experience with my roommates, I wanted to be ready for their return, not because I feared them, although anyone can get upset once in a while. They were all good people, and they were good soldiers. Rather than fearing them, I wanted to render a good account because we cared for each other. We had become a family, and because their approval was important to me. I wanted to repay their confidence in me. After all, we had a partnership in something that was vital, the care of our unit and our country. You know, the fact that my roommates didn't share the exact dates of their return with me might have been simply an oversight, or maybe I just wasn't great at listening. Still, I think it had a good effect. It motivated me to attend to details. Jesus does the same thing that's similar for us. and we can count on him to keep his promise. When I was a young soldier, and I looked at the mess in the barracks room that we lived in, for those 2 weeks that seemed like a new normal. But thinking about my military family, I set to work. It wasn't as an impossible task as I first imagined. Even though the fridge and room weren't up to standards, my roommates did give me credit for the effort. Jesus will do the same thing. This parable fell right into my family these past few weeks. We don't know the date and time the Lord will return to meet us. As you know, my dad died October 30th in a nursing home. And that was only 7 days after contracting COVID-19. I know that masks are helping save lives. This is not a political question. It's a common sense thing to do. Those with medical conditions that cannot wear a mask, I do understand. But the rest of us, we must wear a mask to get past this pandemic. Wearing a mask protects those around you. I wear a mask to protect you. So please, please wear your masks. I want to thank you all for the prayers, your kind words, your cards, the wonderful food, and more during the time of grief for my family. May God bless each of you in your kindness. I really believe that if you want to get to know Jesus more, one of the best ways, in my opinion, is through adoration. Debbie Blickenstaff schedules our adoration volunteers here at St. Henry's. But due to COVID-19, this is a little harder this year, and she really could use some more people for adoration. I do my scheduled adoration Wednesday morning at 6 a.m. For me, that's a good time before I start my workday. I can come to church whenever I feel the need. I sit with Jesus and just listen. Sometimes he has things to say. Sometimes he does not. But I listen and I pray. So if you feel that you're missing out on something, get with Debbie. It might be that what you're missing is adoration. Next week on Thursday the 26th, we'll celebrate Thanksgiving. We each have reasons for gratitude, even in this pandemic. The fact that someone else has 5 talents doesn't mean that my 1 talent is insignificant. On the contrary, the master gets upset when the servant buries his talent. Even those who have less still have a partnership with God. It's a matter of recognizing who God is and who we are. Then start each day with gratitude. How beautiful it is to hear those words, "Well done, my good and faithful servant."